Hey guys, guess what? I have seedlings. That means it's officially spring. So this tree right here is my peppers. All of these, and then these are my saved seeds. A couple of them have come up, a couple haven't, and I'm still missing several peppers, but they're germinating more and more every day. And these blue tags right here are all my tomato varieties. What are these? These are herbs, basil, and these are flowers. Things like black-eyed Susan, bee balm, cosmos, coreopsis, things like that. So we're finally getting to it, and I cannot wait until I start uppotting these guys. I think with the way the weather has been lately, it's been really warm, and I'm hoping that I will be able to plant these out sooner than I did last year, which was mid-April. So I've been getting a few questions about whether or not I'm going to be keeping this hydroponics tower going over the summer. And for now, the answer is most likely not. So this grow tower has 48 holes for plants, and it also covers the backside over there. Let me show you guys. And I have several things in here, from romaine type lettuces, parsley, arugula, mustards. I have several basil plants in here, different varieties, as well as garden sage. So this whole thing is just a smorgasbord of various lettuces and herbs. And I cannot find the time or the wherewithal to eat that many salads. And this parsley, look at this. This thing is huge. I just trimmed him last week, and I'm just dehydrating tons of parsley. I don't know what else to do with it, honestly. I guess I could make a pesto, but... And I'm illustrating all this because of the abundance. I mean, that's a lot of food to work with, especially when it's all the same food. I mean, I can only grow so many heads of lettuce and eat so many heads of lettuce. So there are a few reasons I'm not gonna keep this thing going over the summer. One is the heat. So I closed this bedroom door because this is a south-facing window, and it gets pretty warm in here, which is really, really good during the winter months for germinating seeds, because this is my seed starting area. But in the summer, it is going to be very, very hot in here and very humid if I do that. And I feel like it's okay in the wintertime for this room to be humid and warm, but definitely not year-round, because I don't want to be doing interior damage to my walls and ceiling and such. You know, I'm growing lettuce, not black mold. That's not my goal. So I'm not real sure I want this running during the summertime. If anything, I would put it in the garage, but then without this ambient light, I would need more grow lights, so it would be an upscale, and I'd have to purchase a few things. Also, I don't have any room in my garage. And the second reason is because my garden is going to be huge this year. I mean, it's big every year, but I'm gradually increasing my workload every year. And although this doesn't take a whole lot of work, I don't really want to have to split my brain capacity between an indoor and outdoor garden. And half of the herbs in here I'm going to be growing outside anyways, so it's kind of a waste to be filling this with things that are going to be growing during the summertime. And the third reason, a big reason, is the energy cost. I haven't really calculated out how much this raised my energy over the winter time. I'm not really sure how to do that. Hello. Hi, Freya, Freya. But I do know that having 3 lights, 4 lights going, and that pump running constantly definitely wastes energy. So I don't feel the need to keep this hydroponics tower going during a season when most everything grows outside. So I haven't started any more seeds for the grow tower. I'm just letting all of these plants in here either get harvested for lettuces or just keep harvesting the herbs until eventually they decline. But for now, I don't think I'm gonna be using it during the summer. It'll give me a nice little reprieve from putting 2 gallons of water in that and fertilizer every day. So I wanted to show you guys something that I got the other day, and I think I found a new source of organic soil amendments that I can use every year to put in my garden soil. We have a local mushroom grower in town, and they're called Full Circle mushrooms. And I recently found out through my mom that they sell mushroom compost. So I have already taken it out of the back of the truck and added it to the garden beds. But I'll go over real quick what it is and how you can use it. We'll just have a seat here in the truck bed while I go over this. So if you're buying mushroom compost, because I'm not gonna make the blanket statement that mushroom compost is this one thing. Different growers and producers of it can make it different ways. So what I got specifically is mushroom substrate compost. If you're unfamiliar with how mushrooms are grown like indoors or something other than mushrooms grown in the wild on hardwood trees, a substrate is typically used either peat moss or oats or wood chips or broken down wood chips, things like that. It depends on the mushroom, depends on the grower. I'm not an expert. But when these mushrooms grow, if you've seen, you know, the mailable boxes where that just grows mushrooms out of this block of stuff, that substrate, the stuff that the mushrooms are growing out of, that's basically what this is. So after the mushrooms have been grown and completely exhausted, you know, all the moisture and nutrients within that substrate medium, they gather it all together, throw it in a pile, and let it compost. So this compost specifically isn't really nutrient dense, but it is very carbon rich because the substrate that they use is broken down wood mulch. So while this doesn't provide a whole lot of nutrients, such as a homegrown organic compost with lots of decomposing veggies and things in it, it's not like that kind of compost. But what this will do for my sandy soil is add organic matter back in it, because that's what I'm really lacking in my sandy soil. And for clay soils, if you have clay soils, this can really add a lot of structure and help improve drainage. But I don't have clay soils here. So this was for a whole truck bed or a whole cubic yard, which was 1 scoop with a tractor. It was $60, I believe. Now they do make a different compost that they add food scraps and different materials to, and it's a very, very dark, richer compost. It has a lot more nutrients in it, but it is a lot more expensive, and they only sell it by the 5-gallon bucket. I needed a larger amount on a large scale for my in-ground garden bed, so I decided to get this. This is my first time using mushroom compost, and my first time using this, obviously. So this is just, we're gonna see how it goes, if it improves my soil at all, and if I can notice any huge difference with the use of it. So a lot of different things can be meant by mushroom compost. If you've ever heard of micro remediation, that is when you amend a soil or a garden plot with mushrooms, living mushrooms, to obviously help remediate the soil. This is not that. There are no living mushrooms in this compost. This is really just broken down substrate with probably dead bits of mycelium in it. It's very, very dry. I highly doubt there's any living mycelium in it. So all I'm really looking for here is basically adding carbon to my very sandy soil. But if you ever hear of mushroom compost, or you've been interested in getting some, definitely ask the grower what's in it. I mean, when people say mushroom compost, it could be a variety of things, or it could just be plain old broken down substrate, which is essentially broken down wood chips at this point that I'm adding into my garden, which is not a problem. That's exactly what I bought and paid for. That's what I wanted, and that's what I could afford. Now, if I could have gotten the really expensive, really black, good looking stuff, I would have, but I can't afford a whole truckload of that stuff, and they don't even sell it by the truckload because they don't have that much. But what I did do was add it to all of my in-ground rows. I just top dressed them. because I didn't really want to dig down a foot to work it in. And then I also uncovered this in-ground garden plot next to the orchard and mixed it into the soil here. Now I'm hoping it's really beneficial in this plot because I did not add a whole lot of things to amend the sand there. And I will be growing crops that are better suited for that soil, but I want to give it all the help that it can. While we're here in the garden, the onions have bounced back pretty well. It definitely helps that we got some rain the other day and it's been overcast for quite a few days. And if you guys watched my little garden experiment video, there are some of the plants along with these guys and these guys. I've planted out a few calendula and dill from that group of spring transplants I had, but I really don't know where to put the rest of these guys. And I don't want to take up a whole lot of room because I have so many tomatoes and peppers and summer crops planned. And I would hate to not have enough space for my peppers. I don't know what to do. Well, it's starting to get windy as usual. Haha. Well, thank you all for joining me on this quick little vlog today. I will link the website for Full Circle Mushrooms down below if you guys are in the area and you're interested. Very cool company. Hopefully I will be getting my potatoes shipped here soon because we need to be planting those at the beginning of March. But for now, I'm just gonna work on finding a place to put all my spring transplants. If you have any ideas, let me know. Thank you guys. Until the next one.